Toolbox.
Got to turn it on.
All right, episode 3
What?
of WP Bosses coming at you at 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon. We've got Cameron Jones on, going to talk to us about plugin development and how fun that is. And let's get started. Nick, who are you?
Hi, I'm Nik. Nik Cree, in fact, from Positive Business Online. I'm a WordPress web developer, funnily enough, and mainly work with the business framework and with small businesses on conversions and generating more leads for their business. That's me.
Excellent. Paul, who are you?
Hey guys, what's up? Paul Luxford here from Gold Coast Business Websites and WP Genie, WordPress front-end developer and WordPress website maintenance support person, and that's what I do. So, thanks.
Tracey, who are you?
Hi, I'm Tracey Kemp from Web Creative. I do front-end development as well. Currently having lots of fun with advanced custom fields this week. That's been good fun.
Awesome. And Cameron, who are you?
I'm Cameron Jones. I'm a web developer for Matter Solutions, and I make plugins as well.
Excellent. And I'm Robey Lawrence from beardedfriend.com. I make WordPress websites, and I'm a Hangouts host, apparently. So that's good. Tracey, do you have any exciting meetup news for us this week?
I do. Okay, there's quite a few this week. Tomorrow night in Toowoomba, there is a WordPress user meetup. It's just a basic, casual, come and talk WordPress meetup. Sunshine Coast has a meetup tomorrow night at the Innovation Centre, and Luke Carbis is doing a talk called Hooked, Retain and Engage Your Customers Through Habit Formation. That sounds good. Also tomorrow night there is a meetup for the Melbourne user group in Ringwood. So that's the Eastern Melbourne group. Anthony Horton will be talking about WordPress child themes. And Sunday we have a meetup in Perth, and that's just a Q&A. It's a general Q&A session, so anyone can just go and ask their questions about WordPress, and I'm sure someone will be able to answer them. Tuesday, the 9th, the WordPress user meetup, the Central Melbourne one, is just a general user meetup. There is no topic on their website, so I can't give you any more information. For more info, go to meetup.com and search WordPress. That's it for me.
Or in the footer of wpbosses.com.au.
Or that.
Nick,
Yes.
do you have a business tip?
Well, in fact, I do. I have been playing around this week. I didn't speak about this last time, did I? No, I didn't speak about this last time because I had no internet coverage and I was sitting in the car so talking to myself. So what I'm going to talk about this week is a plugin and service called Tawk, TAWK.TO, and that there puts a live chat box on the website, and we've installed it for a couple of service-based businesses, and one of them has been really successful with it is a pest controller. So he's received a number of messages and got jobs out of that within about 2 days of installing it. And the great thing about it is it puts a little chat box at the bottom right-hand side of your website. Live visitors can go in and they can type a question. If you're online, of course, then if you've installed the app on your phone, then it'll give you a ping when a message comes through, and then you can respond to it. So just like texting back and forth between your website. So you can have a live chat with someone that's actually on your site there and answer their questions. And in the case of the pest controller, he booked a couple of jobs out of that there within 3 days of having that on his site. So pretty awesome little tool. If you can set your hours. So if you only work from, say, like any good web developer, midday to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or for everyone else, 9 to 5 or 5 to 8, whatever it is, you can set your time that you're active, and so your live chats will come through to your phone or onto your computer, and you can just respond as they come through. If you're not active and it's after hours, an email goes into your email box and says, hey, I've got an inquiry, can you come back to me and answer it? So it'll have their email address, their name, etc. And so, yes, it's a pretty cool little tool, and just another way for local websites to get new leads and from people that may not otherwise fill out an inquiry form but actually want something quite instant. So if you want to go and check it out, it is free. That's a good thing about it. It's totally free. There is no paid plan. There's only the free plan, and it's feature-rich. There's heaps of things in it, and it's called tawk.to, so talk.to. There's my tip of the week.
That's really cool to hear a success story from one of those things. I see so many of those chat things at the bottom of the website. There's just like, it's just sitting there dead. There's no one on the other end. Yep. So it's good to hear it works.
Well, the other good thing about it too is you can stalk your visitors around the site, because it'll tell you exactly what page they're on, and you can stalk them around and say, hey, I see that you're on our product page. Which one do you want to buy? So you can be really creepy about it too.
Awesome. Paul, moving on to your maintenance tip of the week. What do you have for us this week?
Maintenance tip of the week. Okay, so just on Nik's talk, I use Talk on WP Genie, and it's really quite successful, and yeah, I really love it. I think I got one message through from a guy. His name was Robey Lawrence, and yeah, he was. I don't know whether he was trying to just test it out or he was stalking me or something, but I ended up stalking him back. So can stalk people back, and I could tell him where he was and everything. And so if anyone knows this guy, then yeah, just watch out. So the other cool thing about Talk is that I think you mentioned about the mobile app as well, didn't you, Nik?
Yes, so yeah, that's the coolest part of it.
Yeah, that is really cool. So yeah, just gotta say that's a plug-in. So anyway, website maintenance thing. All right, so something that happened to me recently, and I've kind of experienced it before. And has anybody put your hand if you have experienced you've just done all the updates on your site with your plugins and stuff, and then you get this message at the top saying, an automated WordPress update has failed to complete. Please attempt the update again now. And there's like a link, that please attempt the update again now. So you click on that, and then it just takes you back to the updates page, and there's no updates there. And you go, what? And then but you got this pesky message at the top. So anyway, to sort of fix that is you need to go into your file structures. You go to cPanel, your file manager, or you go to FTP, file transfer protocol, into the site, and you'll notice this actually happened to me yesterday, so it's pretty clear for me. But the .maintenance file was still sitting inside the root of the WordPress installation, so I just got rid of that and went back to the dashboard and refreshed, and like magic, it was gone. It was amazing. So
You're a magician, Paul.
Well, It was a bit of a magical thing. But anyway, so if you have experienced that before, or you are experiencing that, yeah, just check your file structure, your root file structure, and you'll probably see a .maintenance file in there, and yeah, just get rid of that. That also, if you run an update and it gets stuck on that currently under maintenance mode, like an update has got stuck or stalled or something, because your server is really rubbish or something, then again you'll have to go back into the file structure and you'll need to delete that .maintenance file, and then that will bring you back to the dashboard. You'll be able to get back into the dashboard and you know, move your website to a better host, and yeah, or try and fix it some other way, do some other manual update. So so that's it. That's my tip of the week. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Good luck.
Good tip. Good tip. My my plugin of the week is a little bit biased this week. It's called Facebook Page Plugin.
Who did that
by
one?
a guy called Cameron Jones. Oh, hang on. You're Cameron
Here is
Jones.
the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
I heard him from somewhere.
Perhaps Cameron Jones can tell us what the Facebook Page plugin is and does.
Funnily enough, it's a Facebook page plugin. Amazing. So what it does is it allows you to add a Facebook page feed onto your website using either a shortcode or a widget.
That sounds simple.
Cool.
It hopefully is.
Yeah, cool. So if
Any options with it? Is it
Yeah.
sort of plug and play, or there's options with it as well? I should have had a look at it, I suppose, shouldn't I?
Yeah. So yeah, you can customize all the options that Facebook makes available, like the width and the height, and putting whether you've got the face file or which tabs you want in your timeline, or all those options that Facebook gives you. You can customize for each instance of the plugin.
So can you make it the whole width of your website and the whole height of it, so it looks like your website is actually Facebook?
No, unfortunately, Facebook puts a limit on how wide you can make it. I think it's like 500 pixels, so yeah, you can't make it any wider than that. But you can make it infinitely high.
So only mobile looking then?
Sorry, I lost you there.
So you can only have mobile Facebook on your desktop?
Pretty much,
That's how wide it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was my plugin of the week. But moving on, let's talk to Cameron a bit. I want to know, how did you get into plugin development, Cameron?
So I was building a website for a client, and we wanted to put a Facebook page feed on the website, so I made some code that did it, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool, so why don't I put this on the repo? And so yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, cool. So that was the first plugin you've ever did you ever make any other small internal plugins or dabbled around with plugins before, or that was like, oh, I need that functionality, I'll learn how to make a plugin now?
I might have made some internal ones. I did work on some other ones around the same time. It's more than a year ago that I made this, so going back some way. Yeah, more or less this was the first time I'd done plugin development, pretty much.
Yeah, cool.
And what's really cool about it is you've got more than 10,000 downloads of it. So pretty good.
Yeah, it was a bit unexpected how popular it's become, but it's nice to brag about.
So what's the support like for it? Because always when you're putting plugins into the WordPress repository, the biggest issue that I hear plugin authors talk about is the amount of support requests that come, or the time that all the support takes up and answering questions that come through. What's that been like for you?
So support's not too bad actually for me. I've been lucky. Most of the support requests are just people who haven't read the FAQ, and I usually don't get that many requests, so it's been pretty good for me. Obviously, it's not like Yoast or anything, so it's not super popular. It's manageable at the moment. So I do it in my outside of office hours, and I can easily manage it, thankfully. Um, but we'll have to see as it gets more downloads and more installs and more popular how I continue to cope with it. I may need to look at outsourcing. I don't know. It's something I'll look at when I get to that stage.
Mm. So how much time would you spend on support and the plugin?
Support itself is usually, not very much. It's usually finding something from the FAQ to copy into a response. The plugin itself, I haven't pushed update for about 6 months now, which is unfortunate, but there is active development on GitHub. I haven't forgotten about it. It's not dead. I just have been slack.
Or on Slack.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, I haven't been as active in maintaining it as I'd like to be. There's plenty of new features that I'm working on. Maybe a bit more than I can chew for a single update, but yeah. So couple of hours a week if I'm lucky I can spend on it. As I said, it's an outside of office hours job, so I have other things that I work on as well. So yeah, I probably should work on it more than I do.
Is there any plans of like advanced features or premium features for a paid version of the plugin? I don't know what that would involve in a Facebook plugin. Maybe some like a library of pre-designed layouts or templates or something?
Yeah, it's something I've thought about and something I kind of regret not thinking about when I first launched it, because when I first made it, I'm just like, this is pretty cool, I'll put it on the repo, and didn't make any business-oriented decisions regarding that. So left myself in a bit of a hole with that. But it's one of those plugins that does one thing and does it well, so it's hard to put a premium version in place as it is anyway. But I did have a request not too long ago looking for a way to only activate it if the user approves it, to comply with some European Union law about privacy, sending your data to social networks and that sort of stuff. So if I do implement something like that, that will be a paid extension. But as for a premium version, unless the support gets too much for me to handle for free, I can't see there being a premium version of it.
Yeah, okay.
And I see you've got a couple of other plugins in the repository.
Yeah.
So what are they? So one's called Blocky and the other one's your Fluid Customizer.
Fluid Customizer, yeah.
Yeah.
What that does is it allows you to click and drag the sidebar on the customizer to resize the window of the preview. There's also a feature plugin that does the same thing that is much better than mine, so download that one instead.
Well, you've got, what do we got? 1% of the installs of that. You've got 10 on that one, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that one has like negligible installs. It's like maybe my portfolio and that's about it.
Yeah.
What about plans for...
And what about the other one, Blocky?
Yeah, Blocky's an interesting one. It's one I built for my portfolio. It allows you to add more. It's like a really basic page builder, like for single column layouts, like my portfolio is. So it allows you to click and add more button, and it appends more WYSIWYG fields into your page content. it saves you having to put HTML markup in your page editor.
So it's for us novices out there.
Sorry?
It's for us novices, non-coders.
More or less, yeah.
Cool.
Or coders who want clients to have an easy task adding stuff in the back end.
Yep. Cool.
Have you got any plans to move into other social networks like Twitter or Google Plus or anything like that?
Snapchat?
Nick's favourite, Snapchat?
No, I'm not on Snapchat. It's one thing I haven't tried. I have considered doing other social plugins, but there's plenty out there already, and I've been working on other plugins, so it's not something I'm planning at this stage.
So the reason for the Facebook one, was that because all the other Facebook ones out there are rubbish or don't work, or what's the reason for that?
Because I'm independent and wanted to make it myself.
Cool, yeah, good reason.
Yeah, that's how it started. Was I wanted to code it myself and did and liked it, so I published it.
Yeah, cool. So how did you learn how to make a plugin? Did you just read the codex and teach yourself, or did you do a course like Pippin's plugins course?
No, I didn't do any course. I have read the codex stuff. Yeah, just discussing with other people plugins and just being interested into it, end up looking into it, and yeah, just a lot of what I do is self-taught, and yeah, making plugins is one of those things.
Yeah, cool.
And how different is it working on a plugin than, say, working on a theme?
Sorry?
How different is it working on a plugin as opposed to working on a theme?
It's in some ways it's quite similar in that you're dealing with a lot of the same core WordPress functions a lot of the time, but it is quite different in that there's a lot more you have to keep in mind. Whereas a theme, you're controlling exactly how it's going to look. Whereas when you've got and you usually, if you're doing that sort of thing, you've got all your plugins already that you want on that site. Whereas with a plugin, you've got to try and find a way to make it so that your plugin is standard across all themes, and you have to try and avoid conflicts with millions of other different plugins and themes out there. So in some ways it's the same, well, similar, because you're using the same code base, WordPress, but in a lot other ways it's a lot different because it's so self-contained and has a lot more outside influences.
So if someone was starting out to create a plugin, what advice would you give them?
My advice would be to find something that hasn't already been done, because there is plenty out there, and it's going to be a lot easier if you find your own niche, or if there's little options out there that are really poor or something like that. My other advice would be to build something that you would actually use. All my plugin ideas I've usually, because I've come across a need for them for a client or something, and it's just like, this would be a nice thing to build. It would make my life easier if I have this thing as a plugin that I can continue to reuse. So if you can, find a situation like that, take advantage of it.
Reusable code, that's a good idea, really. So instead of having snippets all over my computer, we could just have a plugin and have the reusable code as plugins.
Yep, Yeah, you just have to upload a zip file or download it from GitHub or wherever you put it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Perfect. We have hit about the half-hour mark. Unfortunately, it does seem to
So
go
do you
very
use
quickly.
GitHub? Do you use GitHub most of the time, or do you submit from Git? Do you find the submission process into the WordPress repository?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because, yeah, I very much like Git and GitHub, and the WordPress repository uses SVN, which is unfortunate, but it is quite old, and it wasn't really around when WordPress was getting started. So you can, I've been using a GUI called Tortoise SVN to commit to the WordPress repo, but you can also commit from the Git command line, which is good as well. So yeah, I use GitHub for my active development, and then once it's production ready and stable, then I'll use SVN to upload it to the repo. So yeah, if you go onto the repo for the Facebook page plugin on GitHub, you'll find there's several branches and new features that have been added that may or may not work properly. Whereas if you're downloading it from .org, it'll be the version that hasn't been updated in 6 months.
We are just about on time. Is there any last words?
Building plugins is awesome. It's certainly something that I underestimated. I didn't imagine I could have code on 10,000 different websites. It's quite an achievement if you really think about it. So yeah, don't underestimate how beneficial plugin development can be for you.
Actually, that's really cool. I'd love to have 10,000 websites in my portfolio.
I've got just one thing for last words is we will be going onto iTunes very shortly for those of you who like to wander around and listen to podcasts, whether it's on your walk or when you're on the treadmill or you drive to work, whatever it is. We'll be on iTunes shortly. Anyone else before we say goodbye? Nope. Goodbye.
Paul, I can see you've got something to say. You're just chomping at the bit there.
I got nothing. I was going to ask that question that you asked, but that was about how to cater for support. So that's been done. So yeah, all good.
Sorry.
That's all right. All right. See you guys. Thanks for everybody for watching.